Okay, well, let's start the meeting. Before we start the meeting, we need to go out of the room and see if there's anyone that has a prayer request. Hearing none. Pardon me?
No, sir, nobody.
Okay, well, let's ask Charles Carter to say our prayer this morning.
Pray with me, if you will. Our most gracious and wonderful God, we come humbly before you this morning. First of all, just thanking you for the opportunity to be here. You've been so kind, so merciful. You've taken us through many dangers, many ups and downs. We know that this is a time in life when a number of folks are looking back at the horrible things that have taken place. But we ask you this morning to give us the wisdom to understand that we need to look forward to the wonderful things that you've promised us in your word. We ask you to continue to bless each and every one of us. Thank you for letting us gather together today. Thank you for blessing all of the first responders. Thank you for the safety and well-being of our MDOT workers who put themselves at risk each and every day. Thank you for the opportunity to be of service. And thank you for your endless blessings, mercy, and grace. In the name of Jesus Christ, we say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Charles. And need a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So move.
Motion been made. All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Okay, pre-construction, Kobe.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Number 2, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 4 under the Bridge Services Master Contract with HNTB Corporation to provide bridge inspection services for 4 bridges along I-55 in Madison County for the listed project numbers. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $699,027.04. Number 3, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 4 under the Hydraulic Engineering Services Master Contract with Stantec Consulting Services to provide Phase A bridge hydraulic design and recommendations for the listed bridges over Perry and Okachikma Creeks on State Route 7 between State Route 333 and Winter Street under the listed project numbers in Yalobusha County. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $329,728.67. Number 4, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 7 under the Hydraulic Engineering Services Master Contract with Mendrop Engineering Resources to provide Phase B final construction plans for stream bank stabilization countermeasures for State Route 37 over Okahay Creek for the listed project numbers in Covington County. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $107,411.90. Number 5, authorize the executive director to execute supplemental agreement number 2, effective March 13th, 2023, to work assignment number 1 under the Photogrammetry and LiDAR Services Master Contract with EMC to conduct an aerial survey to determine right-of-way conditions for State Route 4 from the entrance to Northwest Community College to just north of the intersection of State Route 4 and State Route 7 south of Holly Springs for the listed project numbers in Marshall and Tate counties. The amount of the supplemental agreement will not exceed $30,033.75 for a revised total contract amount of $165,877.20. Number 6, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 4 under the Hydraulic Engineering Services Master Contract with Volkert to provide Phase A bridge hydraulic design and recommendations for the US 78 bridge replacement over Coldwater River for the listed project numbers in DeSoto County. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $181,209.94. Number 7, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 3 under the roadway design master contract with HDR Engineering to provide Phase A final right-of-way plans for the replacement of 3 bridges along State Route 178 for the listed project numbers in Marshall County. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $137,751.88. Number 8, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 4 under the roadway design master contract with HDR Engineering to provide Phase A final right-of-way plans and Phase B final construction plans for hydraulic countermeasure design for bank stabilization for the existing bridge over Copiah Creek for the listed project numbers in Copiah County. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $138,667.25. Number 9, authorize the executive director to approve the listed utility agreement. Number 10, authorize the executive director to execute a quitclaim deed conveying surplus right-of-way in the amount of .25 acre in Grenada County for the listed project number to John Grady Green, the adjoining property owner, in exchange for payment in the amount of $41,926.50. Number 11, authorize the executive director to execute a conveyance of access rights to convey existing access located between the listed stations along the eastern right-of-way of State Route 67 for the listed project numbers to Ronnie J. Plummer, the adjoining property owner, in exchange for payment in the amount of $22,770.
All right, I have one question, Commissioner. All right, anyway, thank you. And I don't need an answer off the top of your head because I know it may get complicated, but can you give me an update soon on the right-of-way or utility acquisition, movement and right-of-way acquisition on I-55 project in particular? Started seeing all these utilities movement items and made me think, see where we are. I know that's a pretty wide time window. I want to see where we were on it.
On the 5th one in DeSoto County?
Yes.
I know that they're moving along on schedule, but I don't have an exact update.
Yeah,
for
let
that.
me know where we are on that timeline, whether it's, we're at 40%, we should be at 40. And
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner King, I think he was done with his question.
Okay, thank you. So we need to go on.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, operations, Jim Willis.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Number 12, authorize the executive director to advertise, select, and negotiate an engineering services contract to provide program support services for MDOT's electric vehicle infrastructure program for the listed project statewide. If it pleases the commission, I have a correction to item number 13. I'd like to remove the third item in the table for Martin Bluff Road. The item will continue to read, authorize the executive director to adopt amendments to the 2023 through 2026 statewide transportation improvement program.
Okay, question.
Yes, sir.
Why are we removing Martin Bluff Road?
Yes, sir. We learned yesterday that an amendment is no longer needed for this item. So this item will continue, they can do the work that's necessary without the amendment.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Number 14, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 3 under the Planning and Environmental Master Contract with Atkins to conduct an evaluation of I-20 between Warrenton Road and US 61 State Route 27 and a feasibility analysis for State Route 27 between I-20 and Warrior Trail for the listed project in Warren County. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $520,021.87. Number 15, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 3 under the Traffic Engineering Services Master Contract with Volker to provide Phase B roadway and lighting final construction plans for the roundabout of Mississippi 3 at Willie Morris Parkway for the listed project in Yazoo County. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $124,542.05. Number 16, authorize the executive director to execute a permit with the city of Jackson allowing MDOT to install wireless broadband antennas on the city's Lynch Street communications tower located at 3551 Lynch Street. The access will allow MDOT to establish communication with MDOT's traffic signals and other ITS components in the Jackson metro area. There is no cost associated with the permit application.
Okay, thank you.
Question, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, you recognize.
My question is on item number, lost me, sir. The one dealing with electric vehicles. Would you elaborate a little bit on that? What are we looking at doing?
Yes, sir. So the request for permission to advertise will give MDOT the opportunity to bring on a consultant to help us do some administrative support work throughout the NEVI program. This support will include helping us procure owner operators. It will also help us do some limited inspection as the charging stations are being installed. It will help with the ability to make sure that the owner operators are maintaining and reporting to satisfy the requirements of the federal code for that program. And as you recall, Commissioner, this was the program that allocated approximately $50 million for the state of Mississippi to install electric vehicle charging infrastructure throughout the state on our alternative fuel corridors.
And that program is moving according to schedule?
Yes, sir. We are on schedule right now. Yes, sir.
Along those same lines, how far along are we, or how far out are we from actually writing checks to applicants that are asking for those funds?
I would just approximate right now that we're close to 18 months away. So we have not procured any of the owner operators yet. This consultant will help us do that. Once those are selected, and we will likely only do a small portion at one time just to gain some experience, I would say 18 months. And this will be a reimbursement program, just like MDOT's normal process.
Okay, thank you. That's all the questions.
Okay, is that all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Field Operations, Billy Owen.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Number 17, authorize the executive director to execute a memorandum of understanding between the Mississippi Transportation Commission and the city of Oxford for the placement of automatic license plate readers or other permanently mounted law enforcement devices on MDOT right-of-way. Number 8.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Question. Why are we, by us opening the door, it's just going to be a maintenance problem for us, because when we have to work on a major operation on a signal light, then that's got to go, or somebody's got to remove it, and it certainly shouldn't be us. I'm thinking we've opened a maintenance, a paradox here of maintenance work for us in the future.
Yes, sir. This is just the blanket permit to allow them to do this. They still have to submit a permit to the district office for every installation for our district folks to make sure that they're not causing us an issue.
Okay, do we have someone physically inspecting these areas?
Yes, sir.
Each one when they request that with a
Yes, sir.
blanket operation like that?
Yes, sir. The permit officer in each district will go out and look where they propose to install their device and make sure that's not going to be an issue for us.
So it's not for Mississippi State. It's not for Mississippi State.
That's my whole point. I know the legislature, when Commissioner Simmons and I were in there, voted not to allow Jackson to do that at one time. They may have changed it. I don't know. But because of that paradox that I'm talking about now, opening a continuous maintenance program that's going to create havoc for us.
Yes, sir. We're making sure that these aren't going to cause us any issues.
So Bill, it's not for Mississippi State fans to keep them from scouting.
I reluctantly will take that in consideration.
All right. Number 18, authorize the executive director to execute a memorandum of understanding between the Mississippi Transportation Commission and the listed local agency for participation in the inmate litter program at a cost not to exceed $50,000 per year with Clark County. Number 19, authorize the acceptance of $25,000 from Safeway Insurance Company on behalf of Capricia Nelson
as full settlement of damage to the guardrail on US 82 at the listed bridge in Sunflower County for the listed project number, and authorize the executive director to execute the necessary release or other appropriate settlement documents. Number 20, authorize the executive director to execute Class 3 supplemental agreement number 1 with APAC Mississippi on the listed project in Holmes County. This project provides for the mill and overlay of approximately 22 miles of I-55 from 0.5 miles north of State Route 17 to the Carroll County line. This agreement adds a pay item to replace an existing weigh-in motion system that was not in the original contract. The cost of this agreement is $298,350.27 for a revised cost of $39,298,143.36. In addition, 6 working days will be added for a revised contract time of 347 working days. And number 21, award of construction bids per staff recommendations from the August 22nd letting.
Mr. Chairman, for a statement, not a question.
Okay, you recognize.
As it relates to item number 18, I'd just like to make the commission aware of the fact, and those who are listening, that little program, we finally got an agreement signed and program put in place with Hines County Sheriff Department. And they have actually started picking up litter in the Jackson metro area. And I can see where it's making a difference already. So we just want to applaud you and the staff, especially with the litter program, for working with all of our counties and municipalities. This particular project, I think, is going to do wonders for the beautification of the state of Mississippi and the state capital.
Good statement. And the litter program is very, very important. We appreciate your good job. Okay.
Commissioner, I think that's all LPA.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Intermodal planning, Charles Carr.
LPA.
LPA, I'm sorry. LPA, Lee Frederick.
Lee Frederick, LPA.
Yes, sir. Good morning. How are y'all?
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Number 22, upon the receipt of all necessary documentation from the local public agency, request concurrence with the listed LPA recommendation to award the construction bid on the following project. Rankin County Board of Supervisors. Number 23, authorize the executive director to execute a memorandum of agreement between the commission and the listed local public agency in order to establish the responsibilities for the development of the following projects: City of Hattiesburg and the City of Gulfport.
Question.
Sir.
You recognize.
On these projects coming up, deadline October 2nd for the LPA or the TAP program. How are we communicating that to the cities and counties? Do we send them follow-up emails or letters or
So
phone calls or?
before the call ever opened up, we sent out correspondence by letter, and it's my understanding that we pushed that, through all various avenues to each LPA across the state, that they would be aware.
That went out early summer, or did we do anything late?
It went out around the first part of August.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's all I had, Commissioner.
Okay. Aren't any more questions, right?
No, sir.
Okay, intermodal planning, Charles Carr.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Number 24, excuse me, authorized payment in the amount of $5,000 in support of participation in AASHTO's FY24 Transit Management Technical Service Program, formerly known as the Multi-State Technical Assistance Program and was commonly referred as MTAP. This is done for the Public Transit Division. Number 25, authorize the executive director to execute the necessary release of lien or other appropriate documents to dispose of the following vehicle. This vehicle was operated by the listed Section 5310 program subrecipient and has been disposed of in accordance with the Public Transit Division's Federal Transit Administration Program Property Management Procedures.
Information Systems, Ben.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Number 26, recommend concurrence with the Department of Information Technology Services to award the following. Onyx Networking for a Google Maps platform for a 3-year term ending 8/31/2026 at a total amount not to exceed $48,000 for Information Systems Division. This procurement was competitively bid by ITS as contracting agent for MDOT. And number 27, authorize the executive director to expend funds to Star Indemnity and Liability Company for insurance coverage on 6 LiDAR-capable unmanned aerial vehicles for collecting and processing terrestrial LiDAR data and collecting roadway characteristic information at a total amount not to exceed $90,240 for Information Systems Division for a 1-year term ending 9/15/2024.
Is that a lease? 95, is that a lease
No,
for a
sir.
year?
No, sir. We own the 6 LiDAR drones. And this is,
Okay.
this is insurance coverage for the year for those drones.
The $90,000.
Yes, we're covering about $842,000 worth of equipment.
Okay, for $90,000.
Yes, sir, for $90,000.
Okay, all right, thank you. Civil Rights, Carolyn Bell.
Good morning. Number
Morning.
28,
Morning.
authorize the executive director to execute renewal agreement number 1 effective October 1st, 2023 to the professional services contract with Systems Consultants Associates, Inc. to renew disadvantaged business enterprise supportive services to assist MDOT in recruitment efforts, training, and technical assistance for an additional year from October 1, 2023 to September 30th, 2024 on the listed projects statewide. The amount of the renewal agreement would not exceed $395,888.
Okay, thank you. Administrative Services, Barton.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
All right, number 29, ratify and approve payment of the accounts payable in amount of $19,439,128 for the periods of August 30th, 2023, September 6th of 2023, and September 13th of 2023. Number 30, approve the payroll docket for the period of September 1st through September 15th of 2023, not to exceed the sum of $5 million, plus statutory withholding, state match, fringe, and employee authorized deductions. Number 31, ratify and approve the commissioners and executive directors' salaries and expenses for an aggregate amount of $19,522.39, plus statutory withholding, state match, fringe, and employee authorized deductions for the period of August 30th, September 6th, and September 13th of 2023. Number 32, in accordance with the Alice G. Clark, Mississippi Watery Law, authorize the executive director to issue a requisition for funds from the Watery Proceeds Fund administered by the Department of Finance and Administration that are necessary for expenditures on watery projects for the period of September 1st through September 30th of 2023. Number 30.
Barton, how much?
You broke up, Commissioner.
Sir.
It's money from the lottery when we were receiving this at night. September.
Byron's coming up.
Commissioner, this is Byron Flood. It should be in the neighborhood of 10 million. That's what we've been averaging over the last few months.
Okay, around 10 million?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, number 33, authorize the executive director to execute payment of $14,000 in support of the ASHTO STEM Outreach Solutions Technical Service Program, formerly Transportation and Civil Engineering and Roadways, into developing elementary students through June 30th of 2024, and that's going to be for the Public Affairs Division. Number 34, authorize the executive director to approve the following new rule. And that's for the Office of Intermodal Planning. Number 35, authorize the executive director to approve the following new standard operating procedure, and that's going to be for the Human Resources Division. Number 36, authorize the executive director to approve the following modified standard operating procedure for the Traffic Engineering Division. Number 37, authorize the executive director to retire the following standard operating procedures, and that's for the Research Division. If it pleases the commission, I would like to make a change to number 38. I need to change the total here from $42,900 to just $9,900. And I'll go ahead and read through that. Authorize the executive director to execute a service agreement with David Kerr out of Newton, Mississippi for the inspection of water treatment plants located at the Pocahontas Rest Area and Lauderdale County Welcome Center beginning on October 1st of 2023 through September 30th of 2024, with the potential for 4 one-year automatic extensions through September 30th of 2028 for that new number, $9,900 per year for District 5. Number 39, authorize the executive director to execute a service agreement with Sweeping Corporation of America, Seven Hills, Ohio, for sweeping the Mississippi River Bridge in Washington County beginning September 1st of 2023 through October 31st of 2024, with the potential for 4 one-year automatic extensions through August 31st of 2028 for $72,540 per year for District 3. Number 40, authorize the executive director to execute service agreements with Clayton Price Pest Control out of Summit, Mississippi for pest control services beginning October 1st, 2023 through September 30th of 2024, with the potential for 4 one-year automatic extensions through September 30th of 2028 for contract totals not to exceed the listed amounts for the following locations in District 7. Number 41, authorize the executive director to execute a service agreement with CDE Integrated Systems out of Jackson, Mississippi for telephone maintenance beginning October 1st of 2023 through September 30th of 2024 for a total amount of $5,400 for District 7 headquarters. Number 42, authorize the executive director to execute a service agreement with Waste Pro USA, Inc. out of Greenwood, Mississippi for solid waste disposal for the Greenwood Maintenance Headquarters beginning October 1st, 2023 through September 30th of 2024, with the potential for 4 one-year automatic extensions that'll run through September 30th of 2028 for a contract total not to exceed $21,096.04 for District 2. Number 43, ratify the following emergency purchase. Number 44, request the authority to advertise for the following agency contract for the period of October 1st, 2023 through September 30th of 2024, and that's going to be for rock salt. Number 45, request the authority to advertise for the following, and that's aluminum sign blanks. And that concludes my report.
A question, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman.
You're recognized.
Commissioner, you say you had a question?
I do.
All right.
You can go first.
My question on item number 39, the sweeping of the bridge, is that shared with Arkansas, that cost?
Sir,
Is that cost shared with Arkansas?
I do not believe so, no, sir.
Thank you.
A question on number 35, new policy on training reimbursements for a CDL director. Do we know how much that's been costing us in the past? I mean, how many are actually getting CDL reimbursements and then leaving us? Do we have a cost?
I don't know what the cost is. We can get that, but this is one of the highest turnover positions, not just for our agency, but in all of state government. State Personnel Board listed about number 3, I think, in turnover, at least in the top 5. And primarily what's happening is we become the training ground for other people's CDL employees. And so in an effort to try to slow that turnover, as well as protect the investment that the taxpayers have in this training, we're asking the commission to adopt this new policy that would guarantee that the people that receive this training and this investment from the taxpayer into their increased value, that they would stay with us 2 years or pay the taxpayers back at a pro rata.
So that's why I was asking what the cost is. I mean, is the cost of getting a CDL is what?
Yes, sir. Mr. Commissioner, well, when we started putting this together, we estimated with the time that we allow the employees to take to get this training, plus the cost of it, it's around $4,800 per employee.
So we're going to take our lowest paid employees and take $4,800 out of their last paycheck?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No,
If they
they're not paying
leave,
it back if they're our employees.
if they leave, they have to pay it back. But if they leave after 1 month, it's the large amount. If they leave after a year, it's half that. I mean, it prorates down to however long they determine to stay after they get the benefit of the training from MDOT.
I just think we're kicking them while they're down. I mean, I understand the concept, and if we were paying $18 an hour with our lowest paid employees, I could see a little more inclination to do that, but with our pay rates, and I know we're working on them and I know we're improving them. Do we do this to any other employee category? We do it with engineers or professional other staff? We take their money back when they're leaving? What policy is that? Okay. I just think it's bad timing and
I would also say this is consistent across state government. I mean, educators do this, medical field does this.
Attorneys.
And as far as our salaries, we, more than any other state agency, have been moving our salaries to maximum level for these employees that we're able to move. You mentioned $18 an hour. I think once they get their CDLs right now, even before our next adjustments, they're making around $16 an hour at that time, which has them well over $30,000 a year, which is very competitive with other government agencies, both at the county and the municipal level, which is where we primarily were losing them at the beginning. The salary increases have allowed us to stop a lot of the bleeding, but we're still unable to compete with the private industry that could hire them away at a much higher area and at a salary in which they could afford to make the taxpayers whole for that investment.
Yeah, and then I do understand we've been working and we got to work within the limits of the law, and the law restricts our ability. I wish and I know the other commissioners wish we could set our own pay rates, but that's not within our authority. But with the current pay rates that we're required to pay, I just think singling out our CDL drivers as somebody that's going to pay even a pro rata share of a reimbursement on a $4,800 expense at the level that their pay scale is, which is insufficient. I just don't. I think it's.
I would remind the commission
not
that no employee is going to be paying this back. No one receiving an MDOT paycheck will ever have to pay this back. It's when they take our money to receive that training and then choose to leave and implement the value of that training in another entity.
But they could be taking that. Let's say they leave to not use a CDL. Maybe they're getting maybe besides getting a CDL, they got a college degree and they're going to go teach school. They're still leaving us, and then they're still paying it back. They're not getting a CDL just to take our money and take our CDL. They may be getting a teaching degree. So we could still say you're leaving,
That's 1 in 1,000.
Well, no, I don't think there's 1,000 people leaving us.
This is 1 in 1,000. It's ridiculous because we're training these people. Why do you think it's the highest turnover in MDOT?
Because we don't pay them.
Because if there's CDL and it's not costing a cent, they can leave and go somewhere else and make more money.
I think it's a
We're being a training ground is what we're being. and we need to pass 35.
All right, how many people does this apply to? How many people last 6 months or a year did we have get their CDL and leave us?
In the last 5 years, we've had somewhere in the neighborhood of 260, I believe.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to be recognized for a comment.
That's about 50 people a year. And I think that's bad timing in this policy. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman,
No, it's hard times, and we need to do it and cut this mess out. They're taking advantage of us, and they're getting a CDL without any cost to them, and then they're moving on. We're just a training ground.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to be recognized for a comment.
You're recognized.
Thank you. Yeah, I hear the debate and discussion. Let me just say, I fully support the policy. I think it's timely and it's needed. And it really is not harmful, in my opinion, to the employee, because it's an investment that we make to the employee to get them trained and give them CDL, and then upon being trained and completing it, we reward them with a pay raise. So it's a good incentive. However, it is an incentive for other businesses to recruit our folks once they have been trained. So if we leave it open, it does create a situation where we train individuals and they can roll off into another place. So with that, I think it encourages our employees to stay with us due to the fact that they may have to pay it. However, there are going to be some who are going to leave anyway because they may get a higher salary and they are able to pay it and move on with no problem. But I think for the good of the Department of Transportation and our personnel, this is a good policy to step forward in. And it's very similar to a lot of other agencies who do the same thing. The state has a lot of good programs where it train folks, give benchmarks and whatnot. And it does require them to repay if they leave. We aren't going to take the full amount from them. It'll be prorated based upon how much time they've spent with us. And they spend a total of 2 years, then they walk away at no cost to them. So I think it's a good policy. Support it. I'm
Any
finished.
more questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, we need to move on to legal. Dan Smith.
It's still a beautiful day today.
It is.
Yeah.
Number 46, authorize the acceptance of $960 from State Farm Insurance Company in settlement of property damage to a median cable barrier on Interstate 20 eastbound in Rankin County at the listed project, and authorize the executive director to execute the necessary release or other appropriate settlement documents. 47, ratify the executive director's actions in executing a grant agreement with the Federal Highway Administration, which establishes the parties' mutual understandings regarding material terms and conditions to execute and implement the FY 2022 mega program for the improvements to the I-10 freight corridor. 48 is to, upon recommendation of the executive director, execute a limited power of attorney to the following officials for the stated purposes below. The first one is pursuant to section 65-1-13 of the Mississippi Code. Execute a limited power of attorney to the MDOT procurement director for the limited purpose of authorizing this official to execute for and on behalf of the commission federal excise tax certificates. All limited powers of attorney previously issued for the same purpose are immediately revoked. Any and all acts authorized pursuant to this limited power of attorney and performed prior to the passage hereof are hereby ratified and approved. The next is pursuant to the same statute to execute a limited power of attorney to the MDOT Director of Asset Management for the limited purpose of authorizing this official to execute for and on behalf of the commission all documents necessary to transfer title to motor vehicles or other equipment, including title certificates, bills of sale, and property deletion reports. All limited powers of attorney previously issued for the same purpose and/or matter are immediately revoked. Any and all acts authorized pursuant to this power of attorney and performed prior to the passage hereof are hereby ratified and approved. The third one is the same thing for the MDOT Deputy Director of Asset Management.
Uh, Well, this section, we're not buying something from Wisconsin.
Yes, sir. We're grateful to be able to.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna ask you a question on 48. Does this take any power away from the commission?
The commission is able to revoke any power of attorney at any time at which it chooses. These are issued for the purpose of, to eliminate the need to come before you every time that a federal excise tax certificate has to be executed, or every time that a motor vehicle title has to be transferred. This can be done as a matter of course through asset management or procurement, and makes your agenda shorter each and every month.
Who's doing this now?
Barton Norfleet, who was just up here talking to you, and who is doing so under duress. He hurt his foot and has to go around on a little tricycle thing. I think he got it from his daughter because it's pink. But Barton does them for procurement. Susan Timms is the Director of Asset Management, and I do not know Susan's Deputy Director.
Jason Douglas.
So,
But we don't even know the names that's gonna do this, huh?
yes, sir, we do.
Okay,
Barton,
just check.
Barton,
Our secretary had to give the right names, is what I understand.
Barton is the Procurement Director. Susan
So
Timms.
it comes under Barton's, is he having trouble? What's the problem, Dan? I mean, how come we're doing this?
This is just a matter of routine execution of documents. The change that's been made is that Nick Walters was the former Director of Procurement. You had previously given Nick the same power of attorney to execute these documents. He's retired, and Barton has taken his place, and the same thing has happened in asset management. Julie Etheridge retired, and Susan Timms has taken her place over asset management.
And I think by not putting their names in here, if they were to leave, it would be whoever was the procurement. Is that right?
It would be. It's kind of a blanket deal. Now, if you'd rather execute these things directly to an individual, that's fine, and they would need to be returned. These will need to be redone in January when the new commission takes office also. So these really are just for the remaining part of this calendar year.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Before we vote on the agenda, I'd like to see if anyone has anything to share. Brad, Brian, commissioners,
No, sir.
No, sir.
do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
There's a motion to approve the agenda. All in favor say aye. Aye.
I'm in favor except for number 35.
All right. All right, make a note of that. Amy,
Amy's got it. Thank you.
Well, is exempting himself for from 35, number 35. Okay. But we already voted for it, so we'll now recess for a working lunch. Thank you.